In 1996, a serious man-made disaster occurred at the giant Radical Chemical Plant in Kyiv. As a result of a roof collapse in one of the chlorine production halls, special containers containing mercury were damaged. Hundreds of tons of mercury spilled across the plant, causing severe pollution. Residents of the capital nicknamed this chemical plant Kyiv's Chernobyl, comparing it to the major environmental disaster that occurred in Chernobyl. This time, we go on a virtual expedition to an abandoned giant chemical plant that has become a ghost factory. This plant was built in the Soviet Union. It is located in the city of Kyiv, in the district of Desnianskyi. This plant is known as the Radical Plant or the Kyiv Chemical Plant. It ceased operations in 1996 and was declared bankrupt in 2000. The plant, which once produced mineral fertilizer, has become a place where time has stood still. Now, it's an industrial ghost factory. So, let's take a fascinating trip back in time to the communist era. Together, we will discover the secrets and traces of the past of a huge industrial enterprise. The Radical Plant was one of the 10 chemical giants of the USSR, and its products were destined for the Soviet defense industry, so it was secret. Construction of the Radical Plant began in 1949. It was built outside the city, in the middle of a pine forest. Over time, however, the city expanded and the plant was located within Kyiv. The plant was commissioned in 1952 and became a strategic center for the production of mineral fertilizers. Its size and capacity demonstrated the importance of the industrial complex in the Soviet economy. The plant produced chlorine, caustic soda, sulfuric and hydrochloric acids, potassium chlorate, known as Berthollet salt, foam rubber, and, after technical upgrading, some types of synthetic materials. Its products were exported throughout the vast Soviet Union and to some European countries. But the glorious past of this huge factory has turned into the ruins it is today. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, the plant suffered the fate of many other industrial enterprises in the USSR. The economic crisis, the severing of economic ties, and the decline in demand for its products worsened the company's situation, and it ceased to operate. The hands of the factory clock, which had been ticking at the same pace for almost 45 years, stopped. Many of the plant's buildings fell into disrepair. In October 2001, a major leak of several dozen tons of mercury occurred. Dangerous substances seeped into the ground. However, some 44 tons of mercury sludge, 109 tons of sulfuric acid, and 62 tons of hydrochloric acid remained on the site. There are also about 3 tons of solid radioactive waste and other industrial chemicals. Traveling around the site is fraught with danger and surprises. Not only because of the chemical contamination of the soil with mercury and acids, but also because of the state of disrepair of the buildings. Open manholes are everywhere. They have become a common sight and have turned the industrial area of the plant into a minefield. Animals, pedestrians, and even cars often fall into the open manholes. According to former employees of the plant, many workers did not live to see their early retirement. Chronic exposure to mercury vapor and its compounds caused poisoning. Fatigue, sleepiness, general weakness, headaches, dizziness, apathy, and emotional instability were typical symptoms of the worker's illness. Although working in the factory was considered prestigious and well paid, it was forbidden to work there for more than 10 years. After this period, if a worker had not reached the preferred retirement age, he or she would be transferred to another job. Workers could retire at the age of 45. When you breathe in air containing mercury vapor, the mercury is retained and accumulated in the lungs. Depending on the amount of mercury and the duration of exposure, acute and chronic poisoning can occur. Women and children are more susceptible to mercury poisoning. Today, it is a huge, dangerous industrial zone. The rhythm of life at the radical plant is history frozen in stone and concrete with a slight taste of mercury.